Chill.
Hello Marvel Legends and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behavior. And today we have got an unboxing. I've got a knife and we have got the Stilt-Man Wave. Finally, we've got the Stilt-Man Wave. It feels like I've been waiting for this forever, so let's not beat around the bush any longer. Let's crack this thing open. First figure I really want to get a look at is Peter B. Parker. This guy is just, as I said, my spirit animal. A mid-30s Spider-Man who's kind of been through the ringer a little bit and maybe he needs to get back to fighting shape. Yeah, I can see that. So here is Peter B. Parker in his plastic prison. So let's pop him out, get that plastic crack. Oh, so satisfying. And here's Peter Parker out of the packaging. And let's take a look at this guy. They went to a lot of effort to really make this character look worthwhile. I love all the attentions to detail the different shoes are just wonderful. And each shoe has some lovely actual sculpting and details on there. Then you've got the soft plastic of this coat. This is terrific. I was hoping to be impressed. And I actually am very impressed. I love what they've done with this. The designs in the movie themselves were great. So translating them to the figures shouldn't have been that hard, and Hasbro have nailed it. And I like that they have gone a little bit of an extra mile with the golden dots on the buttons. We've got the silver on the zips here. That's really, really nice. Then we have the indented spider design on his costume. That's great stuff. And the only problem I have with these Spider-Verse figures is that they are so stylized in the faces. They don't really match the style of the comic book characters. So they very much are a set unto themselves, but that's fine because they are a great looking set. So let's take a look at what else we have in the plastic prison here. We've got the thwipping hands. We've got the punching hands, and we have the half-masked head. And I'm really torn as to which head to use, because the half-mask head is a little more colorful, but I really like the hairstyle. It's the kind of hairstyle I would have if I had hair that I was able to style and not just desperately cling to the top of my head. And of course, finally, we have the Stilt-Man head. So we're gonna build this as we go. But this has got off to a great start. I love this Peter Parker, and he may still be the best figure of the bunch. We'll find out. All right, as you can see, we've got Peter on the Spinatron 5000. I've gone for the mask look because actually when you think about it, it looks like he's wearing kind of a Spider-Man beanie, and that sort of suits me with my style. So even more separated at birth here. I like my beanie Peter Parker. So moving on, we are gonna crack open Gwen Stacy. So one thing I forgot to mention is the box art looks terrific. It's taken straight out of the Spider-Verse animated style, and it's so striking, so eye-catching. Am I an inbox collector? No, but it's really nice to see regardless. And I'm not an inbox collector, but of course I keep the boxes because heaven forbid you throw away the boxes. What are you, mad? So here is Gwen Stacy out in her carbonite there. And just such a massive, already huge improvement on the original. Let's pop her out. Oh, plastic crack, very satisfying. And here is Gwen Stacy out of the packaging. First of all, the biggest thing you notice, of course, is the head sculpt. Completely different from the original, just leagues better. The style of it, that kind of anime CGI kind of look, the shaved undercut kind of thing going on here. A really great figure. I can see mine has a little nick of some white. Oh, look, there it goes. I just got rid of it there. And yeah, this is good. And I tell you what, this doesn't seem to suffer from the spindly bindly female figure problem. These joints feel nice and stiff. The feet are, they feel a bit bigger. They actually gave her slightly bigger feet so that you can stand her up better. This figure has a lot going for it. I'm definitely gonna display her with the hood down because there's so much going on with the face. I really love this with the ballet type shoes as well. This is a winner. Okay, so of course also this figure comes with Spider-Ham, you know, the accessory, which is what Spider-Ham always should have been. So, you know, instead of me giving out about how annoyed I am about Spider-Ham being an actual figure, I'm really pleased with what an awesome accessory this is. You're getting bang for your buck. And, oh, come on, you. Here is the John Mulaney Spider-Ham, and I wasn't expecting, but he has head articulation as well. He's not just one solid piece, and that's terrific. I love this. What a great addition to have there. I'm going to pop Spider-Ham in front of Peter B. Parker, and you have to worry about sort of trying to balance him. Obviously, he can only stand one way, so they must have weighted him very well. But yeah, this Gwen is lovely, really great. We have her headpiece. But the thing with the headpiece is I'm actually not as much of a fan of this design. I prefer the kind of airbrushed looking eyes, whereas these have more of a solid sort of, you know, lens around them. So this, it's fine, but it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, of course, I would be furious if we weren't given the masked head, but I'm not gonna use it. This is the absolutely superior way of displaying her. Then we have a couple of whipping hands. Of course, I would have preferred, you know, wall crawler type hands, but that's okay. And we have the Stilt-Man body. So we've got our headless Stilt-Man somewhere. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's crack the head on here. And he's starting to take shape. Oh wait, he also has the bit that goes around his head. So I'm not sure if there's an order you have to put those on. So I'll just kind of rest the head here because I don't want to have to pop it off to put something else on. But yeah, let's put Gwen on the Spinatron and see what's next. All right, let's go over to the 616 now with the Hand Ninja. Similar to the other box art, it looks really pretty, obviously in a completely different style now to mirror the more comic kind of design. But it looks nice. It's your typical evil, green-eyed, zombie type Hand Ninja. Let's take a look. And here is the Hand Ninja in his plastic prison. Let's get that plastic crack. Oh, so satisfying. I love doing full waves. So here is the Hand Ninja out of the box. And this is one that a lot of people were really looking forward to. And I can see that they were doing some comparisons. A lot of people have been doing comparisons with the G.I. Joe Ninja, which I don't have. But from just this guy on his own, I really like him. I'm kind of lamenting the fact that I don't have two now, because I think they would look great as a pair. But this guy on his own, the detailing on the belt is the first thing I notice. I love that it actually is nicely textured like a martial arts belt would be. Then you got the buckles and the clips on his strap around his torso. There's got a nice little rope around his elbow too. That's decent there. And you got the green eyes piercing through. That's a good looking figure there. All right, you got all the obvious articulations you'd expect. I like the Ninja Turtle, ninja style, you know, two-toed ninja boots. Those are great. This is gonna look good. I mean, my goodness, we need a classic Daredevil now to pair up next to him. Let's put the accessories on. And here is the Hand Ninja all posed with his blades and his katana in his back scabbard there. And look, one thing I didn't even realize is that he has the torso kind of swivel here as opposed to the ab crunch, which I guess is being phased out, which is no bad thing because it's a much cleaner line around the midsection. And with his ankle pivot and all that kind of thing, you can get him in a nice low ninja type stance. He looks great, and I kind of want to have more of him. And of course, the Hand Ninja also comes with the Stilt-Man legs. This was a really, really good idea of Hasbro to include, you know, army builders with parts that you could buy multiple of and would make sense. That's a really smart move. You know, I'm not mad about that. And also, I didn't realize how that Stilt-Man gets a stand as well, which is kind of essential. So let's just pop these on here. And now Stilt-Man is starting to take shape. I can see that it looks, because it's all one color, it looks a little plasticky, but hopefully when the rest of the parts are on there, he'll feel a bit more dynamic. Let's find out. Now we've got the figure that I was probably least excited for, which is the Prowler. And the reason I wasn't that fussed about him was I feel the face looks really stylized, kind of like the Peter Parker one. like he looks very much of the film. I can't really pose him, I don't think, with any other Marvel Legends because I feel he just won't really fit that aesthetic. But again, with the Spider-Verse, that's kind of okay. But looking at him in the box, I can see that, you know, just the colors are so pretty, the deep purples and whatnot. I think I'm gonna like him a lot more than I thought. So here is Prowler in the plastic prison. Let's pop him out. There we go. And I hate the way they feed the capes through. What am I supposed to do? Like pop his head out and do it the other way? Come on, little fella. Or do you not? Do you just pull the cape through? Well, I got there in the end. I dropped something too. Nah, don't worry, I'll find it. So, whew, here is the Prowler. And yeah, again, like I was saying, so very sort of comic stylized with the pointy hood on the cape and whatnot. It is very much of the Spider-Verse, but looking at the details on him, I love the look of this. You know what? The comic book Prowler head on this body, oh, that's what I'm talking about. But of course I won't do that because I want to have both figures. But yeah, looking at this figure here, the gauntlets look terrific. I love the detail of the sculpting on his hands, the forearm sort of bandoliers, whatever they are on there, they look fantastic. The boots with the pink detailing, this is a sleeper hit pretty figure. It's so pretty. And even though I'm not overly keen on the style of the head, I do love the way that they've sculpted it. Like it is almost more like a bag pulled over his head as opposed to a skin tight mask. They kind of do that with Baron Zemo sometimes, and it kind of makes sense. So yeah, I really, really like this figure. I'm gonna have a lot of fun posing and playing around with this guy. I'm really cottoning onto the Spider-Verse. I'm enjoying this wave more and more now. This is good. And Prowler comes with the right arm of Stilt-Man, so let's crack this on, and he's getting there, isn't he? He's getting there. So we'll pop that in there. Now I'm wondering, does the Miles chest piece have to go over that? Well, we'll find out. So let's not waste any time with that. Let's crack open Miles Morales and see how this works. Oh no, I think it just sits on top. That's good. All right, I haven't wasted any time. But yeah, this figure looks great. And actually with that in mind, I'm gonna save Miles till last. I think I might actually wanna keep what might be the best till last. Which of course means that the penultimate figure we're gonna open is Frogman. The figure that everyone saw and was like, this is a golden time to collect action figures. They're making everyone. And like, I was gonna do a video about this, because quick rant, like people are annoyed that the Maestro Hulk is just a repaint and it's a cheap move, and you're right. But look, the way I logic it out is that there's not a huge margin on these things. Hasbro can save money making a repainted Hulk. That allows them to make super obscure figures like Frogman. So that's how I justify it out in my mind. Is that right? Who knows, but it helps me sleep at night. So here is Frogman, and he's big and chunky. He's on the Dr. Octopus body, which is great to see that getting used again. And here is Frogman looking so ridiculous, but that's wonderful. And I didn't know, I mean, I don't think I've read any issues with Frogman that I can remember, but I see he's got this backpack here, which of course that fits into the ports that were on the back of Dr. Octopus. So that's a really good use of that figure. And you can see his little beady eyes sticking out there. And so from what I understand, this character I think is the son of the original Frogman. So the original Frogman was a villain, and maybe this guy is like trying to, you know, rehabilitate the family name. So he's got the springs on the bottom of his feet. So cheesy, so ridiculous, so much fun. I really like the look of this with the detailing on the body as well. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's a bonkers figure, but I love it. I think I'm really gonna have a lot of fun with this guy. This might be my sort of, he's a boy. Oh, I have a new member of the boy stable. Is it a good figure? No. Is it a good character? No, he's bonkers, but I think I might love him. We've got a new boy in the stable. So Frogman comes with open and closed fisted hands. So I'm gonna have him with the open hands, because I always like characters to have the sort of the open hand, more dynamic sort of look to them. It's not often I'll just do a clenched fist kind of pose. Sometimes characters lend themselves to it, but I more prefer this kind of like, what's going on kind of look. The only time I don't like that is when the hand is clearly supposed to be holding something, but not. I'm looking at you, Warpath. That's why he has two-fisted hands, because the other ones are like, where are my invisible knives? They're not here, but that's a video for another time. Let's put some more pieces on Stilt-Man. And just before I put this in Stilt-Man's hands, you can see the case actually opens up with money inside, which I'm sure is going to make a lot of diorama photographers very happy. And that is Stilt-Man nearly finished. Just one more piece, one more figure. Let's crack open Miles Morales. And as I said before, Miles has beautiful Spider-Verse artwork on the box. And as I pointed out right at the very start, he's got the nice varnished Spider-Verse logo there too. So let's open up our final figure. The only problem with unboxings, it just goes too quickly. I should savor this more, but yeah, I'm not. Okay, here we go. Let's pop them on out. All right, hey there, little guy. Okay, so with the extras, we have, of course, the final part of Stilt-Man there, and we have the masked head, and finally 2 extra hands to go with him. Now, as with Gwen, I'm gonna use the unmasked head because the sculpt looks terrific. Let's take a little closer look at this. Yep, again, just jumped straight out of the film. That's wonderful. And he's got his 2-layered jacket going on here, 2 separate pieces. You can move those around a little bit. His suit has the indented sort of sculpted webbing, just like Peter Parker's, which is really, really nice. He's got the shoes on the skinny little legs. But again, a perfect representation of what was there on the film. He's got his kicks on there. This is gonna look great. I cannot wait to add these guys to my Spider-Verse shelf. This is gonna look really, really good. All right, we've got Miles all set up here. I went for the 2 clenched fists just because Peter and Gwen have the thwipping hand, so I don't want to mirror them too much. I kind of like that his expression is quite a unsure of himself kind of expression. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a second wave of Spider-Verse figures where we can have the full costumed Miles with a more determined, unmasked look. That's going to look great. So let's just top this off with the finishing pieces on Stilt-Man. This is where I find out, oh man, I did it in the wrong order. No, it looks safe. I think I can just pop this over his head. His head was really difficult to pop on. I almost bent his antenna all out of shape. And this just pops. This just pops up. Is there some way of fixing it in place? There is a little peg type thing in the back, so I've just got to try and maneuver that into his upper torso. Okay, there we go. I think that's clipped it in place. And there we have Stilt-Man. Now let's take a little look at Stilt-Man here. As I said with the initial assessment, does look a little bit plasticky, just because by the nature of his design, there's not much going on there. His antennae kind of get a little bunched up with his bit that goes over his head as well. So that's kind of a thing that limits his movement a little bit. I gotta say, like, he's fine. It's nice to have a big, tall figure that's gonna stand out a bit. Good luck with some people fitting him in your Detolf displays. That's gonna be a bit of a struggle. But if you have him on like an open shelf, that's gonna be fine. But yeah, as far as Build-A-Figures go, this isn't rocking my world or anything. He's fine. Again, it's nice to have a big figure, but yeah, there's not really much to him. So to rate this figure, I give it the Shartimus Prime grading of meh. But if the Build-A-Figure is the weakest part of the wave, then you've got to hopefully have a very strong wave, and that's what I think this is. So guys, that is the Spider-Verse wave, and it's got ups and downs. A lot of people say like, you're always positive about everything. Not so, at least in this case. Don't like the Stilt-Man. Got him in hand. I don't like him. He looks so plain and plasticky. This carapace bit, I know it clips into his back, but it just pops out. I'm gonna have to use a lot of hot water and hopefully try and like push that into place. Not great. The antenna gets stuck under there. Not a fan of the Stilt-Man. Hand Ninja looks great. I'd love a couple more of those, but we'll see about that. I think they're going to get quite hard to come by. Frogman looks terrific. The Spider-Verse guys look awesome. That is all really good. So a weak bath, but a really strong wave otherwise, I think. So guys, have you got your Spider-Verse set? If you have, comment below, let me know. If you haven't, comment below, let me know. I don't want to exclude you just because you ain't collecting this particular set, but let me know your comments, your thoughts on this whole bunch here. And folks, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, join the 6-1 Click clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And stay tuned for the Data Blast coming up next, or the best stuff that I found on Instagram, curated for your enjoyment. Go give the creators a follow because they do fantastic work. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
An Xbox Recording Studios production. A song recorded and rearranged.